Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and completely unpack the fascinating, multi-layered mystery of why spiders trigger such intense, involuntary terror in so many of us. Picture this scenario. You're reaching into a dimly lit closet, not thinking about anything in particular. Maybe you're just looking for a jacket. And then, there it is, sitting right there on the wall. It's completely motionless, but somehow it gives off this very clear vibe that it is absolutely about to move. Your hand jerks back before your conscious brain has even finished processing what you're looking at. Your heart rate spikes. Some people freeze up, some scream, and some, well, they just firmly close the door and completely write off whatever was in that closet.
But honestly, think about this baffling paradox for a second. Why on earth do we fear something the size of a grape? I mean, the creature on the wall weighs less than a paperclip. It is, in every measurable way, a much smaller threat to your physical safety than the chair you are sitting on right now. Yet something deep, deep in your brain treats it like a credible, immediate danger that requires an absolute emergency response.
If you're nodding along to this, you are absolutely not alone. In fact, between 30 and 50% of the entire human population experiences this exact deep, involuntary reaction. It is literally one of the most common and ancient phobias in the world. It's so common we just kind of accept it as a normal feature of the human operating system. But why? Why is it so incredibly widespread?
Let's peel this back. Layer 1. Innate or learned?
Are we actually born with this fear, or is it something we learn growing up? Well, a 2017 study by the Max Planck Institute pretty much settled the debate. Researchers tested 6-month-old babies. Now, these are infants with zero cultural exposure. No scary movies, no creepy campfire stories. When they showed these babies images of spiders and snakes alongside harmless things like flowers and fish, the baby's pupils involuntarily dilated significantly more at the sight of the spiders and snakes. And pupil dilation is an automatic physiological stress response. So this proves the spider alarm is evolutionarily hardwired right into our nervous system before any conscious learning even has a chance to happen.
Moving on to layer 2, your brain on spiders.
It turns out your brain basically uses two totally distinct pathways to process visual information. When you spot a threat, the low road sends that data directly from the thalamus right to the amygdala. It's crude, it's fast, and it is entirely emotional. Your hand pulls back before you even know why. Meanwhile, the high road sends the information to the visual cortex for full processing. It's slow and rational, and it's basically playing catch-up. This is exactly why telling someone with arachnophobia to just be rational literally never works. By the time their rational brain figures out what's happening, their emotional brain has already hit the big red panic button.
So what exactly is that super fast low road looking for? Over millions of years, natural selection tuned our threat detection to specifically flag a few exact physical and behavioral traits. Multiple eyes and unsettling weird patterns, an 8-legged profile that totally breaks the normal insect mold, highly unpredictable variable speed movement, and this dense, compact body capable of hiding in small, dark spaces.
Which brings us to layer 3, the scorpion identity crisis.
This is where the story takes a massive evolutionary twist. This highly tuned spider alarm, it might not have originally evolved for spiders at all. Researchers point to something called the scorpion hypothesis. You see, spiders share the exact same compact, 8-legged, no-antenna body plan with scorpions. And scorpions have coexisted with our primate ancestors for 40 to 60 million years in places like Africa and the Middle East, genuinely causing thousands of real human deaths annually because of their highly potent venom.
Which leads to this wild realization. Your fear of that little house spider is, evolutionarily speaking, just a case of mistaken identity. Your primitive brain sees a totally harmless spider and triggers a massive false positive alarm because it perfectly matches the profile of a lethal scorpion. Basically, evolution decided it was much, much safer to unnecessarily freak out over a harmless spider than to accidentally ignore a deadly scorpion.
Let's look at layer 4, fear meets disgust. Here's the thing. Pure fear isn't the only emotion dictating your reaction. Like we just talked about, the amygdala is responsible for the adrenaline, that intense fight-or-flight impulse, and the immediate fear response. It's basically screaming, "Run away now."
But we also have this other region called the insula. This evolved to keep us away from rotting food, parasites, and disease vectors. Psychologist Graham Davey actually found that the disgust people feel toward spiders heavily correlates with the disgust they feel for rats and cockroaches. Because spiders hide in dark, damp crevices and crawl across our surfaces, our ancient brains strongly associate them with dirt and disease.
So, when you encounter a spider, you are suffering from what's called double-channel activation. It's a combo attack. One ancient alarm system is yelling, "This might hurt you," while a completely separate alarm system is screaming, "This might contaminate you." Hitting both of these intense survival circuits at the exact same time is what makes this phobia so incredibly overwhelming to experience.
Now for Layer 5, the cultural fear factory.
If this is all just ancient biology, why is this phobia significantly more severe in Western cultures than in places like Cambodia or parts of South America, where tarantulas are casually eaten as a daytime snack? Well, the answer lies in the preparedness hypothesis. Our brains come pre-wired with the basic biological software to fear spiders. The neural pathways are primed and ready to go. But it requires a cultural environment to trigger and fully reinforce it. A child really just needs to see a parent react with visible fear or disgust one time, and that predisposed pathway locks in permanently.
And let's be honest, Western culture has basically served as a massive, continuous fear amplification campaign. From ancient myths associating spiders with entrapment, to Lord of the Rings' Shelob and Harry Potter's Aragog in modern films, right down to intense nature documentaries using macro photography to highlight every single hairy leg joint. Our culture feeds that primed neural pathway exactly what it needs to panic.
Finally, Layer 6, updating your ancient hardware.
The good news in all of this is that because we understand this physical architecture, it is remarkably treatable. Take this incredible anomaly from 2014. A man underwent brain surgery to remove a piece of tissue from his left amygdala to treat a seizure condition. And when he recovered, his lifelong severe arachnophobia had vanished completely. Poof, gone, replaced by simple curiosity. This proves definitively that the fear is not a character flaw, it is literally just a physical piece of hardware in your brain.
Now, obviously, we aren't suggesting brain surgery for a spider phobia. The actual gold standard for treatment is exposure therapy. By systematically progressing from just thinking about spiders to looking at photos to finally being near one in a container, you slowly build a safety memory that successfully competes with the amygdala's alarm. Some treatments even combine this with beta blockers like propranolol, or funny enough, exposure to things with a passing resemblance to spiders, like the spokes of a wagon wheel, just to bring down that overall sensitivity.
Which really brings us to the great irony of this whole biological drama. Spiders are actually our ecological allies. Most of the 45,000 spider species spend their days providing totally free pest control, eating flies, mosquitoes, and cockroaches. Plus, their silk and venom offer massive medical and engineering benefits. But your ancient brain, running that primitive low-road code, simply ignores all that rational scientific nuance.
So, I really want to leave you with this ultimate validating takeaway. When you jump back from that closet, you aren't being irrational. You aren't weak. You are a biological success story. Your fear is a highly evolved survival mechanism doing exactly what it was built to do millions of years ago. It just hasn't received a modern software update to know that a tiny house spider is harmless.
It really makes you wonder, right? What other ancient hardware is your brain running in the background every single day? USA Explainer को subscribe कर लो. मिलते हैं next video में.